Hi, this is DarkFox127 and welcome to another Skyrim Creation Kit tutorial video. Today I'm going to be finally getting around to how to upload your mods to Steam. Now, a lot of you are going to have a lot of trouble with this most likely, and I'm just going to note something first of all, or a few things I'm just going to note. The first thing that I'm going to note is that I may have figured out why the Creation Kit brings up so many network errors. This is usually error 9, error 10, doesn't really matter what error it brings up. Most of the time it's an error with your network, and well, it isn't. Basically, Steam is trying to tell you that it's an error with your network, and it isn't. It's just trying to say it can't upload it for whatever reason, and you'll be able to contact Steam support. They won't help at all. They'll give you some generic message back, and you'll be sat there wondering, why can't I upload my mod? Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, the first thing that we do know about the Creation Kit when we do want to upload using the Creation Kit to the Steam Workshop is that we have to have our sync turned on. So if I just go Properties, you have to have your Steam Cloud synchronization for the Creation Kit at least turned on. What this means is it allows you to upload your mods to the cloud. If it's turned off, you won't have access to the cloud via the application, and it won't work. You won't be able to do it. It will tell you to do it. Now, what happens when we turn this on is it also uploads your saves for games. This is found on most of your games on Steam. If you haven't turned it off, it's most likely on. And what it does is it regularly, every time you upload that program, sometimes when you just load Steam, it updates your saves and uploads all of the files relevant to that game up on the Steam cloud. So if you ever have a machine failure or you lose some data, you can download it off the cloud. I'm sure all of you know what that means. And the problem is, when we load the Creation Kit, we've probably got at least heavy modders. But what I mean by heavy modders is people that mod an awful lot and people that download a lot of mods. You tend to have a good 100 megs worth of ESPs, quite possibly, or just a fair chunk, a fair amount. At least mine here says 124 megabytes of data. That might not be solely ESPs, it might be a few BSAs. Mine is trying to upload 124 meg of data to Steam every time the Creation Kit loads. Now you think, well, the way you stop that is you have that off, but with that off you can't upload your own mods, so you have to have this on. So what you might notice is when you load the kit and it says ready to play here, it will actually be uploading a ton of data. Now, for all of you out there that have got fibre optic broadband, really quick internet, for whatever reason it really doesn't matter, then you're probably not one of the people moaning. For one of you or more of you out there that don't have really quick internet and you just want to use it to upload your mod, you could be having a pretty hard time. So what I recommend is you either go to Skyrim Nexus, or if you do want to upload to Steam, wait for that upload to finish. I know it's a pain, but you might want to wait for that upload to finish, or it's probably going to bring up a Steam error. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it or not during this video, but we will find out. If I do get it, I will just explain what should happen. Yesterday I tried to update Millwater Retreat 2.0 for the Steam Workshop. Now it's released on Nexus and it wouldn't do it. I got Steam error code 9. So you have to have your Steam Cloud on. And what I'm going to be doing, I am going to be covering how to create your BSAs manually, not automatically, manually, because automatically is rubbish. It doesn't tend to work. It never works for most heavy modders. So what you would do is, once you've got your mod done, when you normally just go to upload, you will upload plugin and archive to Steam, and that will bring up a short menu for automatically packing up your BSA. Automatically is fine if you're working with a small mod. You don't have custom meshes or textures or even many scripts or anything like that. If you use actors at all and you have custom faces, then what you are going to want is you're going to want to do it manually, because it doesn't include face gen data. This is the whole Control and F4 thing. For those of you that don't know about that, just go and check out my detailed followers tutorial. It's the latest followers tutorial I've done, and it does explain the grey face bug. Now, the grey face bug is fixed by creating your own manual BSA, so you'd have to include those files in. So like I said, if you've just got a mod, say it's just simply a house and you don't have mesh use textures, scripts or active face gen data, you can go ahead, upload plugin, ignore that, you would just go ahead, have a plugin loaded, it would bring up a small box, you just click pack and it'll be pretty quick, and then you go ahead and upload. But we are going to create a manual BSA for my new project. Now, nobody knows about this new project prior to this video. It's called Nordale. I will explain a little more about it. I will be finishing it quite shortly. I actually made it about 24 hours, 48 hours. And I'm just going to go through, even though it's not finished, I'm going to go through some steps as to making a manual BSA and how I would go ahead and upload that. So, first thing you want to do, you're going to want to go new folder. Smack one on your desktop. Don't put this in your data folder, Skyrim folder, anywhere there. Put this on your desktop. I'm going to call this Nordale mod. And I'm going to double click in there. If you've got Windows 7, then I'd recommend doing side-by-side stuff with this. You're going to make a data folder. And you're not going to put your ESP in the data folder here. Although the ESP usually goes in the data folder, you won't be including the ESP in the BSA. The BSA will include textures, meshes, scripts, FaceGen data, other stuff like that, all of the resources that are used in your mod, but it won't include the ESP, the plugin file. The plugin file will sit alongside this data folder here, and when you upload, you'll be uploading your BSA essentially, and it automatically uploads the ESP. Hopefully that makes sense. So what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to go data. Now I'm going to put them to the sides. I need to move that a sec. And we're going to go under our data folder. It's usually in Programs 86, Steam, Steam Apps Common, Skyrim data. It might be somewhere else on your machine. You'll have to go and find out where it is, but you should know if it's not installed in the default location, then you should know the location that you've installed it in. And we are going to take a look. Now I've got meshes, I've got textures, and I have some scripts connected to this mod which I'm going to want to upload. I haven't got any actors, but if I did have any actors, then I would want the meshes and textures for their FaceGen data. So if I go meshes and you go actors, character, FaceGen data, you probably won't have any files in here, but if you do, then just ignore those. You want to go through FaceGen data, Face Genome, and I've got Corinthia Tower and Millwater here. So if I was uploading Millwater, I would make a copy of this, and I would copy that full folder structure of actors. So I would copy that, paste it in there. Well, I'd have that in data, sorry. And then I would run that through, and I would delete the stuff that isn't relevant to my mod. And you would just keep the folder named after your mod. So in my case, it would be Millwater Retreat, and as you can see, that's all the FaceGen data in there, considering that as long as you've done the Control F4 obviously to stop their face from being grey. And you would do the same within textures. Done something wrong there, data. You have to copy the folder structure, so that one that we did there, that would have actually been meshes, and then actors, blah blah blah. And then this one you want to make a textures folder. And then you would again, actors, character, FaceGen, face tint this time. It's a bit different, and there's Millwater Retreat. We will copy that. So I would just go and copy that actors, remove the stuff that isn't relevant to my mod again, and then continue. So I'm just going to remove that because that isn't part of Nordale here. So I'm going to want meshes and textures if you have any, and I'm going to want scripts. Within scripts, if you do want to include your source, go ahead and make a source folder. I personally don't include the source. This isn't because I want to hide scripts from anyone. There's just simply no need for the source. Anyone that does want help with scripting or want to know my scripts, usually I'm quite open to sharing them or helping out. I just don't see the need to include sources, and sometimes I do want to hide scripts. Maybe if I don't want people to see the long-winded way, and I don't want people commenting saying your script doesn't need to be that long. It just saves me a lot of hassle, a lot of trouble, and a lot of just takes away a bit of that extra effort really. So I won't be including the source, but if you were, you didn't mind people sort of opening it up and taking a look at your scripts, where are we? You would go scripts, source, grab all of the scripts that are to do with your mod. So in terms of Nordale, it would be NT. There are my script sources there. I would copy and paste them into source, and then I would go ahead and do the scripts which are PEX files. So I'm not going to include the source, so I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to go NT for Nordale Tower, and I'm going to copy the scripts that I've done for this mod, paste them in there, Now you might have music. What I do for music personally, I actually create a music folder and I put my files in there. So I'll just show you I have music for Corinthia Tower. If I was uploading Corinthia Tower, I would make a music folder and then I'd dump those in there. Now music is a funny one with the Steam Workshop. I haven't got my music to upload to Steam. It does apparently upload, but it for some reason causes crashes. Any cells, any place that has my custom music through my Steam uploads, it just crashes for people and it doesn't work, which is why my Corinthia Tower mod doesn't have the music, the custom music, in the workshop version, but it does on the Nexus as a loose file. I haven't figured out why. If anybody does know why, please leave a comment, let me know if there's a proper way to upload music, but I would just put it in a music folder. It doesn't do any damage on the Skyrim Nexus, as the ESP knows where it's supposed to be pointing to it, but it doesn't once it's packed up in the BSA for some strange reason. So another thing is SEQ. Another thing I've had trouble with uploading with the Steam Workshop, having it packed into a BSA. But those of you that don't know, SEQ is to do with allowing quests to start properly. Most people know it as the dialogue bug, which isn't a dialogue bug. It's just a bug with quest starting and dialogue runs through quests. It just allows custom dialogue to work for most people's cases, and it allows custom quests to actually work. So you would include your SEQ file in an SEQ folder in there, but I don't need that either. What else? I think that pretty much covers it. I've got meshes, scripts and textures. I don't have my music, and like I said, I don't have an SEQ folder or files, so that is it. I need to go through and grab my meshes and textures now. So I'm just going to start with textures. Now I have started to use a lot of modding resources now. So modding resources are people that modders just provide you a resource full of different items, new meshes, new textures for you to use in your mods as long as you give them credit, and I have started to take advantage of some of the wonderful creations out there on the Skyrim Nexus for resources. So if you use any resources, or if you even use your own stuff, you need to copy all of the files into this folder here to pack up into your BSA. Now what a lot of people do, which is a very bad thing, is they just include the whole resource. So here's a whole resource here, copy and paste that in, and they leave it at that, and that isn't a good thing, because I might not be using all of these files and it is just a waste of memory. It's a waste of time when you're having to upload it. You're having to upload a hell of a lot more than you need to, and it's a waste of memory on the person downloading it. It's a waste of memory on their machine. They're just like, I don't know why I need all these files, and it could cause problems if they already have the files and somehow these have got screwed up. It just minimises the chance of any problems, and it makes the file size smaller. You don't really need to include the whole resource. So if you do know what files you've used, then you can start taking out the ones that you haven't used. Now I can't remember at the moment. I do have it listed obviously for when I upload this. I don't remember at the moment what I have and haven't used, so I am going to leave it like this, but I wouldn't recommend that you do. You need to go through and get rid of all the stuff that you don't use. So if I used AX there, that's some great paintings, really good painting resource. I might leave links in the description if I remember to some of these. And I have a few of my own resource floors, so I'd copy those in. Now you do need to copy the structure as well, the folder structure. The whole folder structure needs to be the same as it is in this data folder. So we've got textures. As you can see, I am copying the folder structure. That is very, very important. If you don't do that, you're going to have a load of trouble. Things aren't going to work properly. So I'm not actually going to go through and do all of these, but there's Nordale textures, my own custom textures that I've got for it. And you want to go along and you want to do the same for meshes. Now just to save time in this tutorial, and I'm probably not going to upload this anyway, and it's probably not going to work, to be honest, because of the trouble I've been having, but I would go ahead, I would do exactly the same for meshes. Now in a lot of cases there are more meshes than there are textures. This is because most of the time people use the textures from the game but put it onto their own mesh. Now if you don't know what meshes and textures are, go and do a little research. I'm not going to go through the trouble of explaining it, I just don't have the time. This tutorial is already going to be long because of the explanation from the start. But yeah, you are going to expect that there's going to be more sort of meshes than there are textures. So if there isn't a texture to a mesh that you've used, it's probably because it's using one of the game's textures and just a new mesh. So you want to copy and paste all of your meshes, all of your textures. I've done my script. I'm not including the source, but you can, like I said. And then all we need is our ESP. Now, like I mentioned earlier on, we're going to copy our ESP and we are going to put that outside this data folder. And I'm going to leave that there for now. Next thing you want to do, you want to make your way to your data folder, which I've just closed. And no, you don't want to make your way to the data folder, you want to go back one. You want to find your way to your Skyrim folder, and you should see this executable file here. It's called archive, and if you double click on that, this is what's going to pack up our manual BSA. So what we want to do, we want to go add directory, not open, because if you use open it's a little different. You want to go edit, add directory, and we're going to point to our data folder within our little Nordale mod folder here. So we're going to point at this data folder, click OK. Shouldn't take too long to load. Depending on the size of the mod, it might take a little longer. And as you can see, it lists everything in here. You don't need to tick on each of these, you don't need to go inside them and tick on them, but it is good to just take a look and check that everything is in there, everything that you've used. Make sure you haven't missed anything. It is easy to miss something. I've done it before. And once you've got that nice list there and you've checked that everything is there, all of your resources are there. In my case here it isn't, I'm just rushing this through here, I'm just putting some stuff together showing you how you would pack it up. Then you would select each of these that you have used. Now I have used meshes, I have used textures, I haven't done my own menus, shaders, voices, sounds. If I was using my own custom music and it would work properly, I would select sounds, but I haven't this time around. And MISC does cover scripts, I do believe. Fonts and trees I haven't done. If you're not sure, then you should be okay to go ahead and click something even if you're not sure. It shouldn't make any difference. If you click voices and you don't have any voice stuff in there, don't worry about it. It probably won't make a difference. It shouldn't cause any trouble. It's always good to tick more boxes than you need rather than miss one out, because if you miss one out you're going to have problems. Now you want to tick compress archive. This is going to make sure that our file size is nice and small and it falls under the 100 megabyte limit on Steam. So that's another reason why you might get errors, is if you've gone over the 100 megabyte limit. That's one thing to mention. You want to retain directory names and retain file names. Now you can ignore the rest, but again, if you're not sure, if you want to, you can sometimes tick these. It shouldn't make any difference, but just tick what I tick, or tick anything additional here that you have used that I might not have. Now you want to go ahead and file, save as, and I'm just going to point this for the moment to my file that I've created here. I'm going to put it in the data folder, and you want to call this exactly the same as the ESP, just without .esp. This is going to be .bsa, but whatever you have called your ESP, which in my case is DF127 Nordale, that is what you want to call your BSA, the exact same thing, or it's not going to work. DF127 Nordale, that's what you want to call it, and save. It'll do the BSA part automatically. You don't have to put BSA .bsa. If you do put .bsa, it shouldn't matter, it should still work, but I recommend just putting the name exactly how it is there. Save. That should do some work for a while. Again, depending on the size of the mod. If it's fairly small, it'll be pretty instant. If it's fairly large, if there's quite a lot in there, give it some time. When the bar reaches the end, it should finish with renaming a temporary archive. Now that never disappears, so if you're thinking it's still renaming, don't worry about it. As long as you can see the BSA in the data folder where you've told it to go, you're all good. Now you do get this BSL, I never remember what these are. I think they are linked to the creation kit, and you'll notice after you've uploaded a file, if you have such luck, you will notice another file. It might be called a CKM, and I think that is to do with the creation kit, and it's to do with remembering things for if you were to update the mod, if I remember correctly. So that's all good, the BSA and the BSL, but we're not done there. You actually need to either cut and paste or copy. I always copy in case I mess this up. You want to copy and paste those into your data folder so that they nicely sit next to the actual ESP. Where have we gone here? There we go, DF127 Nordale, BSA, BSL, and we've got our ESP. That's how you want to do that. Now you can go ahead and close that window, you can go ahead and close that window, and you can go ahead and you can open up the creation kit. And you want to select your ESM file, or if you've used the DLCs, you want to select the ones that you've used. If anyone wants to know how to get your ESM files to all load simultaneously, if you want to know how to load up any of the DLCs either on their own, simultaneously, or just some of them along with the Skyrim ESM, I do have a video. I'll leave a link in the description again if I remember, because there's so much to do with this upload. But yes, I do have a video on how to set it up so that you can tweak your INI file so you're able to mod the DLCs for Skyrim, because they didn't put an official patch into the kit. But yeah, we want ESM. This is a vanilla game sort of mod, so I don't need any of those DLCs. And see if I can find it here. I haven't been modding it for some time. There it is. Set that as active file. I'm going to go ahead, click OK, let that load, and then we'll get to uploading the mod, hopefully. Okay, so once the kit has loaded, you want to go File, Update Plugin and Archive to Steam. And as long as you have your BSL and your BSA next to your ESP in your data folder, then this should work. So click on there and it should say this: archive exists, yes. If you don't get that, then you've probably put your BSA in the wrong place, or your BSA hasn't packed correctly for whatever reason. And if you get getting details on published files, it either means you've got a mod installed already, or sorry, uploaded, and it's looking to update it. So if you were going to update a mod, this is usually what you get, getting details, and slowly you'll see that the tags start to update and other things. And you might get this error. This is brilliant. I love this error. Failed to get details on an uploaded preview image. Now what this usually means is it's failed to get the image for the mod off Steam for a mod that's already uploaded. Now considering I haven't got this uploaded, that's pretty dumb. So we're going to click OK. Now what I recommend, and what I found, well, I'd say helps, it sort of helps, less chance of it mucking up anyway, is let this getting details on published files finish. Just let it finish, let it bring up errors, let it bitch and moan, let it be a pain, and once it's done it'll just say upload to Steam, and then just let it cool, let the image load, let the tags auto click, and then you can carry on. So I'll go select image. I'm actually going to put a wrong image in here because I haven't designed the cover image for this yet. If I can find this, it should be here somewhere. There we go. So I'm just going to put the expert smithing image in, but I would put the image that I want in here normally, and we'll call it Nordale mod. There, call it test. Now tags is how people are going to find your mod, so you want relevant tags. Don't go clicking them all, you want to click the relevant ones. Now in my case it would be a player home, but it also has some other nice things. It'll have some characters in, it'll have followers in, I'll say it adds to the gameplay, say it's a house, miscellaneous. It's always fun to put miscellaneous. And if it had a quest, I'll put quest. So you want to put the relevant tags, and then you go ahead and upload. Now one thing I'm going to mention before you click upload, just again I'll mention, make sure that Steam isn't messing around uploading anything. Make sure nobody else in the house is uploading anything, messing on the internet too much, playing a game, or they're on Facebook. Just make sure, because of how picky this is, that your network isn't doing anything. Mostly that Steam isn't trying to update your files at all. And then you can go ahead and click upload. But one thing to note is take note of what is available and what is required when you start this, because one thing I will say that I've learned from this is I've sat there for a good 20 minutes letting a large mod upload, then I get a failure, and it's usually error 16 I think it is, and it fails and I'm like, grrr, and I just want to destroy something. But then you notice something. If you close the kit, you restart your machine and you come back on, you load up the kit again, and you try that upload again, you'll probably see that it uploads in a few split seconds. And for say a 20 meg mod or something close to the 100 mark, you're thinking that's not right. And what it is it's most likely not failed, it's uploaded the mod, it's gone on Steam, but it's waiting to publish. And what it is for some reason it fails on the publishing part, and then when you click upload it goes, oh, mod's already there. And you might notice that the available and required has changed, as if to note that it has been uploaded. And you'll click upload and it'll be pretty instant, and you'll go to Steam and it'll probably be there. Now, like I said, restarting the machine, that can help. For some reason Steam is nuts and it loves a good machine restart. Maybe you've been accessing a lot of things on the internet, on your web browser. Maybe Steam's gone through a ton of processes via the network and it's just confused the hell out of itself. Maybe that's why it fails. I still don't really know why it doesn't work, but just try restarting your machine. So we are going to finally click upload. This is probably not going to work. If it does work, then I'll get up and dance, but this probably won't work. Now you'll click upload and it should come up saying sharing mod with Steam Cloud. Now one thing is, don't click anything. Just don't click anywhere in the Creation Kit window. If you want to knock the Creation Kit and go do something else with your machine while it does that, just hit show desktop and get it out of the way. Keep it down there out of the way. Don't click on it at all. And if you do want to check on the progress, just click on that once. Just if you start clicking in the box, it does a general wonderful Windows thing where it goes and thinks it's not responding just because it's taken a while, and then it'll just crash and then you'll want to smash something else. So you just want to wait for it to do this. Now this is taking a while here because it's a fair chunky file size, as it says here, 53 meg, and that's also because I didn't take out things that I haven't used in the mod. So if I had, that would be quite a lot smaller. I'll probably think it's under 50 meg when it's done. So this will see. I'm not going to sit here for 20 minutes, stop the video and then wait to see it fail, because I think it probably will fail. But with any luck, after a while you probably won't get a sound, no notification, you've got no idea how far along it is, but I'd say with an average connection the most time that you should be waiting is half an hour to an hour. So just after an hour, if it hasn't uploaded, you're probably having troubles with it. But when it is done, it should come up simply saying publish file. Now one thing that you want to do to check it if it's updated or uploaded is you can go, oh, I love these new navigation buttons. This is terribly organised. Because it's trying to upload, it's going to be quite slow. But you go into your workshop, and if it's there, if it's a new upload, then it'll be there, and that's success. If it's an update, then you can go under your revisions, which should be down the left somewhere. Check out the revisions. I'm not going to bother with that, it's not going to work. You can check out the revisions and it should list the time and date that it was last updated, and if the time and date is just now when you've updated it, then success. If not, then that's it. So please don't leave comments saying I'm getting this error, this error, this error, I don't know what to do, because quite frankly I don't know what to do. Just try restarting your machine, try out some of the things that I've mentioned during the video. It is just a pain and we have to live with it. But like I said, that one thing that I think has a big part to play is that process where it's trying to upload your Steam Cloud data. So that is it. I hope this nice long-winded, probably half an hour video, hopefully that has helped out with some people. Hopefully it fixes the issue for some of you. Hopefully that that theory is correct. Please let me know how things go for you in the comments. Even if it goes bad, just let me know, and let me know what Steam error, because I really want to know how many possible errors this thing can throw. I've had 8, 9, 10, 16, I think I've even had a 21. So it'll be really interesting to see what errors you guys get, because you probably will. If it works for you, please comment, because I'm just going to, I'll high five you. And that is it. So another Creation Kit tutorial out of the way. So yeah, check out my main website, my anti-social websites, all the usual. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.